I am Dr. Tranquility. Welcome to Dr. Tranquility Talks, Conscious Relationships, and Dating. And we will be right with you. Stay tuned.
Great.
So I thank you for joining us tonight. We are actually coming to you live from the streets of New York. We had an interesting day in that it took 2 hours to get to Midtown by the FDR or any of the streets on the east side. So we're just taking it all in stride, just like dating. You just keep going until you get married. So my guest today, and I have an amazing guest. I have my co-host, my buddy, Camille, in the back. And my guest today is Kelly Ray. She has gone from classroom to boardroom, from teaching personal finance to investing money for others as a financial advisor. Whoa. Then from production planning and corporation to lesson planning at home with a school curriculum. She uses her BA in education from Purdue University and her executive MBA specializing in finance, production, and marketing from Indiana University to facilitate logical problem solving. On the other hand, she uses her certification in intuitive training to tap into the spiritual side of decision making. Kelly believes in mind, body, spirit approach to healing, decision making, and lifestyle. She believes that all three are necessary. Preach. Kelly Ray is also a Reiki master teacher and combines the analytical and the metaphysical in her approaches to everyday situations. So I am Dr. Tranquility Lydia, and I have a background in mind-body medicine from Columbia, the Mind-Body Institute at Harvard, Botanical Meds from Columbia. I'm a hypnotic anesthesiologist with a background in psychology and in marketing. So I enjoy being with you today. We have some wonderful sponsors. Our sponsors are Lifted Teas, that's at LFTD Tea Infused Teas on Instagram. Juan Vallette Designs, along with Mark Becker, Holistic Therapist, and My Skin Harmony .care with her amazing soaps and body butters, which I had to put a little on before we started, just to calm down. Good stuff. So now I'd like to introduce you in our very first show to Kelly Ray of Kelly Ray Coaching. Hello, Kelly, how are you?
Hello, I am so happy to be here, and I love our topic. And I think it's quite interesting that I've never been interviewed from anybody on the streets of New York City. This is quite exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of like that magical cab that was a cash cab.
Right.
And we have Camille.
Hello.
Camille Hayes, who is the director of publicity for Dr. Tranquility Talks. So Kelly, I jumped in there over you. You were saying you've never been on air with anyone. Neither have I. I've done a ton of media. Never done it from a car. So it's something new. First show, we're going to go with pandemic, not stopping us. So
that's right.
The first question that I have for you is, how do people know that Reiki is both beneficial for them, but specifically beneficial in the dating process?
Oh, that is a great question. Everyone has an energy system, and when you're dating, you have to consider two energy systems. And when I approach Reiki for someone who's dating, what I first look at is the person who's looking for help first, meaning that it's more of a relationship with yourself. The first thing you do is you have to get yourself in balance. And that's what Reiki is really all about, it is balancing your energy systems. So you want to be we have like 7 energy systems, and you need to have all of them in balance. I wish I were perfect balanced all the time, but I almost probably never am, but I keep striving to go back. Just like the driving, it's my life is not simple. My life is not easy. Things happen. Look at, Dr. Tranquility couldn't get to where she needs to be. Life happens. And when that does, your energy system gets a little off. So when you're dating, you have to think first, okay, I can't be bouncing everywhere, because then it's a push me, pull you kind of thing. So what happens is when you're not in balance and you have a person there that you want to date, you're bouncing into their energy system. You don't want to do that. People don't like energy that pushes them or pulls them. They like to be in a space where their energy is balanced. You're there, you're doing really well, and then it's a better connection. But truly what happens, people wonder why the dating sometimes doesn't work with a person. You got to look at yourself first. Am I going through this energy push me, pull you kind of thing, where my energy is pushing them away or pulling them back? Reiki is something that will help you balance yourself so that you can approach others better.
That's wonderful. I need to do a little balancing. So we're going to do a little neuro hack. So
Okay.
We're going to close off our right nostril, breathing through the left 5 times. I lost my mouth. 4.
I did too.
Okay. And you can even do that in the boardroom. All you have to do is sort of block off the right nostril. No one will know you're doing it. And it's important to hit the reset when we get stressed.
Absolutely.
And life has stressors for all of us.
Absolutely. And I'm a person that also believes that you can take a second, close your eyes, take a breath and let it out and just relax. And that helps to balance your energy too.
It does. That's so, these little hacks that I do are actually based in neuroscience to put you into the parasympathetic mode. And what Kelly's mentioning does the same sort of thing. It doesn't quite trip you in, but it relaxes you just enough so you can keep going.
Absolutely.
Now, you do something called distance Reiki. Can you explain what that is? Because you're able to work with individuals and couples and businesses. So can you explain how that works for a couple?
Oh, it's wonderful. What you can do is, and it's perfect in this pandemic that we're in and, social distancing. There are 3 levels of Reiki who, for those of you who do not know, there's a Reiki level 1, a 2, and a 3 as a master. And then you have your Reiki level teachers. When you're Reiki level 1, you have to do in-person healing. That means that you are physically in the room. They don't ever touch you. A Reiki master, a Reiki practitioner never touches you. Their hands hover and energy comes through them, and their hands manipulate energy in your body. But if you're Reiki level 2 or a Reiki master like I am, we've been trained to direct energy to a target. So Camille, if you wanted to have Reiki and you're in New York City in a car, I would just have to target you and I could send energy to you. And that skill is acquired over time, over training. That's why you have to have a more advanced level of Reiki to do that. But you don't have to be in the room. So I can work on Reiki with you. And this brings up a good point. You cannot force Reiki on anyone. And here's what that means is you really have to ask someone if if they want Reiki. So say Camille asks, can I have Reiki? That's good. And you want to date someone. In this example, you want to date a man, and I can't really send Reiki unless I go into meditation and ask their higher self, is it okay if I send Reiki to you? And when I get the nod that it's okay, then I can send it. Reiki is not something that you can push. You can close yourself down and not receive any Reiki whatsoever. So it's really important that even if you're in a couple and one person shuts it down, the other person that takes the Reiki, that becomes balanced, is in a more harmonious state to deal with. Remember, it's the attraction energy that you're going for. So
Right.
just having that calm attraction energy is going to help in any dating relationship, even if they don't directly get Reiki.
Okay. That's amazing. I know we're both big Laura Day fans and followers.
Yes.
And I know Laura does something where she actually sends warm energy.
Yes.
You know about that, I'm sure, because you're
I
far more
absolutely
advanced
do.
with Laura than I am. But she
Well-
actually sends warm energy to people, and just so they feel good.
She really does. And with Reiki, it's what she does is just a little bit different form, but it's still energy healing. And what she does do is when she talks to you, she will say, okay, I'm going to send you, some healing energy. And she does it very quickly. And to be very honest, when I came on air, this is all new and different. And I knew that, you were trying to get to a place and maybe a little stressed. What I automatically do is I just start to send the Reiki to you, just so everything kind of smooths out and gets calm. And so typically what happens is I shouldn't speak for all people, but me, what I do is I typically start sending Reiki healing to people that I interact with on a regular basis. I even do this in the grocery store, but remember, I don't do this without first saying, Lydia, to your higher self, will you accept the healing energy? The same for both of you. I would just ask before it goes, because it can be like this, blocked off. You're not going to take on any energy you don't want. So it's not scary. There's nothing like that. It's truly, but to be a good receiver, some people that it's the first time I ask them to pause and say, I accept the healing energy, and take a deep breath. I accept it. Because sometimes when you say you accept it, it's amazing. It feels like a rush of calming energy when you say, I accept the healing energy.
It does. It feels good. You've been sending me lots of, my beloved there, you've been sending me lots of warm healing energy, and I've definitely picked up on it. Camille, do you have any questions?
No.
You don't? Okay. Camille's like, when are we going to get out of the middle of the street? No.
I wish I could help you, Camille, but me driving in New York City would be quite a disaster. I'm not that skilled. Smaller cities are good for me.
So would you like to send some healing energy out to Dale? He's listening to us.
Absolutely. So what I would like Dale to do, and the listeners also, I want everybody to just take a deep breath. And in your mind, I want you to say, I accept the healing energy that's coming to me. And I'm starting and I'm sending the energy to Dale. Now what I'm going to do is just everyone in the airwaves. I have not done this on, the radio to send it, but we Reiki masters send healing all over the world when things happen. So I'm assuming it just works in the radio waves, just like it works just anywhere when you send it to disasters. We often do that. We team together and send healing to the world where it needs to be.
Dale just said, I accept. So he's accepting it. That's
Perfect.
Wonderful.
I'm glad that Dale received the healing.
Yeah. So what is the difference in utilizing distance Reiki as opposed to in-person sessions for couples, singles, or in a business relationship?
Well, when you're in face-to-face with someone, and remember, if you're Reiki level 1, you can do this face-to-face. Reiki level 2 and masters do not have to be in the same room. It is exactly the same thing. And I can liken it to the way the world is right now. Everybody's ordering online. You still get the same product. You just don't travel to the mall. And so it's not watered down. It's not less than. Distance Reiki is just as powerful, equally powerful. There would be no difference for you to be in the room with me, Lydia, having a Reiki session versus not.
Okay. Wow. So can you take us through a Reiki session?
Absolutely. The first thing is the Reiki master has to ask you some questions. Sometimes they really don't have to. Some people can sense just by looking. Everyone's different. Every Reiki master is different. Every Reiki practitioner is different. But the best thing to do is to ask questions. I'm having trouble in relationships. I'm having trouble with my children. I'm having trouble sleeping. I have great anxiety. I have a lot of anger. Then the Reiki master can more simply direct it to the chakra energy system that needs the most. So if you have extra time in your 30 minutes or an hour, you're going to hit the energy center that they're requesting. So, there's certain energy systems that you would track for sleep or anxiety or just feeling unsafe and insecure in the world.
That's wonderful. That's amazing. So, I want to tell you all about another company that I work with, and it's called Money for Likes, and it's specifically designed for practitioners like Kelly and myself. What you do is you go to Google Play or the App Store, and from there you download Money for Likes. You put in $10, it gives you 1,000 likes, and you can like different artists, creative types, and practitioners, and actually send them money. And you can send 1 cent, or you can send, 1,000, whatever you want to send. And that it's a way of monetizing what you're doing. So you're not just sending a like, you actually are supporting them.
I love that.
Isn't that great?
I love that, especially now, where you can't really go to purchase their arts in a gallery. That's a perfect way to support someone. I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
We will be right back. Stay with us. And we are back. Hello.
Hello.
So getting back to Reiki, What would you say the difference is between, we've got some lovely ambulance New York City sounds. Do you know people actually there are sound machines that have New York City sounds? And a girlfriend of mine came up to the country and she couldn't sleep, so she put it on, and that helped her sleep.
That's amazing. And I think you like what you're familiar with.
We do. We go to what we're familiar with. That's the way the brain works.
Yes.
So it will always go back to what's familiar. So in hypnotherapy and in hypnotic anesthesiology, which is a further indication of hypnotherapy, and we train the brain to like something else.
Oh, I like that.
And that way the brain goes back to what it knows, and what it will now know is something positive. So, for example, if someone's trying to lose weight, we reset the brain, the mind, for water. So instead of snacking on potato chips, they drink water. And that's their new familiar.
I love that. So then I would need help with ice cream. So I would... I would have to convince myself that I like water better than the ice cream, right? I love that.
What, right now, I could go for a bucket of Ben & Jerry's and a soup spoon.
Oh, I could too. I'm ice cream all the time, so that's perfect. That's perfect.
That's great. So can you tell us how you got into doing Reiki? What was this? Because you are a lot like me in that we come from more traditional backgrounds and bridged into the alternative.
Right.
So what was the impetus for you to want to be a Reiki practitioner, a master teacher? What started it all?
It was quite a journey for me. It started years ago, and I learned so much about myself. But what happened was I had a skin condition that was really severe, and it was not pleasant. And I did what I knew, and I went to doctor after doctor and dermatologist after dermatologist, and they could help me for a while, but it just wouldn't help for very long. So I did everything all the way down to it. One doctor thought it could possibly be that I was allergic to the sun. So we tested it, and I had to wear a big hat, big glasses, long sleeve shirt, long sleeve pants so that sun wouldn't touch my skin. And for most of you, that's not a big deal. But where I live, the summer times are more than 100 degrees, and that was like a really big deal. So not only was I itchy and had a skin condition, but I was sweating too. And it was just, it was so unpleasant. It really brought me to tears. And I thought, I have to look for something else. My toolbox is empty. They've done everything they can, and I still have a problem. So I started, the teacher in me decides to start researching. And that's when it opened the doors to Eastern medicine for me. And I started researching, and I found Reiki. Well, I thought, okay, this is great. Let me just try this. Nothing else is working. So I went for my first Reiki treatment, and they start asking questions. Like I was saying, for the Reiki session, I went in, and this was an in-person. So I went in and I started, they started asking me questions. And the first question was, what triggered this? And I said, nope, nothing. I'm the unique one. There was no trigger. And so there was a long pause, and the very wise Reiki master said, can you tell me the most memorable thing that happened to you in the last 30 days since right before the skin flared up? And immediately it rushed to my head. And it was so hard. I witnessed someone that I love very dearly almost get run over by a car.
Oh.
And thank God everything is okay. Nothing happened. But it was the most horrifying feeling, because for those seconds, I felt like I was going to lose my loved one, or they would be crippled. And so my body went into absolute terror. And then it went right into joy that everything was okay. So not even 8 hours later, my skin started screaming. And so when the Reiki master started working on me, we also realized that I needed to process that trauma and the emotion because my adrenaline probably flooded through my veins and had nowhere to go. So at that moment changed my life because I had always been a Western girl and I still respect Western medicine. I use Western medicine. There's nothing negative about Western medicine. But at that moment, I realized, there's a mind-body connection. What my thoughts are and what my experiences are affect this body, and I can see the effect. And it was like one of those light bulbs go off, aha moments, and I thought, okay, now I realized how unbalanced as a person I was. I was so set in myself of thinking that Western medicine was the only way. There were no other options. So it made me open my views, consider other alternatives, and I didn't get rid of my Western medicine. I just added Eastern medicine to my toolbox because without the calming of Reiki, I don't believe that my skin would have healed.
Well, it's like someone I remember said this to me, and I absolutely feel this way. If you're in some sort of accident or there's an ailment, a substantial ailment, and we're in a pandemic, so I don't need to spell it out. I'm going to go to a medical doctor. If I'm cleaning the gutters, which I never do, and I fall off the house, which I would do if I was up there, then I'm going to go to a medical doctor to have my leg reset. I'm not going to a hypnotic anesthesia. I mean, I may use hypnotic anesthesiology to break the pain signal, to interrupt it. But I'm not using it to get better. And I'm not going to a chiropractor until my leg's been reset.
Absolutely. And I think that what you're saying, it brings up a great point, is because I believe in going the least invasive, and then you start going up the chain to more invasive. And sometimes if you start having a problem in relationships, in mood, in stability, in how you feel, you can use Reiki to take care of it before it becomes bigger. That's what I really love is it's something that we can do and we can use, and it's not invasive. And remember, you're just closing your eyes in a different place, and the energy's coming. I'm doing the work. You're just relaxing.
Yes, that's very true. That's the same as in hypnotherapy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take another just moment of break here, grab some water, and we're going to come right back with Kelly Ray of Kelly Ray Coaching. But I'm going to take you through a date therapy session. And we're going to do a little mini session here. If everyone just wants to grab some water, get comfortable, and we'll be right back. Let's get into that music. This is Tatcha's Unrequited Love. So we're not talking about unrequited love. We're going to talk about what is requited. And we're going to have a good time doing it. So I want everyone just to get comfortable. Just allow yourself to relax and feel your back on the chair or the cushion or the pillow. Just allow it to lie there and be supported. And then we're going to look up. I'll take my glasses off so you can see me. We're going to look up all the way up into our eyebrows and allow our lashes to meet. And it's okay if your eyes start to flutter. That just means you're going into a relaxed state place. And all hypnosis is relaxation. It's a deep state of relaxation. You'll hear everything that I'm saying to you. And just begin to breathe deeply from the diaphragm, deep inhalations and exhalations. We're going to inhale for a count of 10 and exhale for a count of 10, whatever is comfortable for you. And we're going to repeat that 10 times. And let's begin. Just relaxing and releasing. Deep inhalation. As we inhale, we're going deeper down into relaxation and peace. Exhaling all calm, all tension. In a moment, we're going to step into a magical chair. And this chair will take us down 5 floors, almost like an elevator, but it's completely open. It's a big chair, so we're totally secure. Not closed in, very open. But for now, breathing while you breathe. While you breathe. Very good. Just breathing. Focusing on the sound of my voice, knowing that all other sounds will only serve to take you deeper and deeper into relaxation and peace. And we all want to relax a little. Excellent. Now let's move toward the chair. 5, going deeper down. 4, going even further down. 3, 2, 1. You're in a very safe place in just a moment. It may be a place that you created in your mind's eye or a place where you visited by babbling brooks or the ocean or the mountains. 1, and you're there. You can get up from your chair and go to a special space there. And we're going to work with our box today. This is a magical box. Into it, you may place all of your stressors. There are only 2 features of this box. One is a slot, like an ATM deposit slot. The other is a lock, and we're going to keep the box locked. Keep the key here in your safe place. You may choose to line your box with pillows. I do, in case I want to deposit some human beings so that they feel safe and comfortable, and they land wonderfully. The most amazing thing about this box is everything that goes in, all the issues spontaneously evaporate. So there's always room for more. I'm going to sit quietly for a moment while you create your box, and your box may be as small as a ring box or as large as a construction site dumpster. Whichever one works for you today. Excellent. Remember, it may be made of glass or wood, fabric, anything that works. Now we're going to take our top, maybe do 3 stressors, but the first one It may be dating, a relationship that you're currently in, a business partnership, a marriage, a committed relationship, dating. Whatever stressor you're feeling around that, whatever anxiety, and we're all feeling a little anxiety today, let's face it. So however it's seeping in, I want you to go ahead and put that item into the box, and I will sit quietly for one moment. For 1 moment of clock time is the equivalent to 1 hour of relaxation time. You may begin. Very good. And now let's think of the number 2 stressor in love life, dating. You want to be dating, feeling isolated. Whatever's coming up for you as we're doing this work, feeling stressed, we're going to deposit that thing into our amazing box. And again, I will sit quietly for 1 moment. For 1 moment of clock time is all the time that you'll need. Very good. And now number 3, you know how to do it. So we're going to deposit that in. Just get rid of it. Just put it in the box. And now we're going to sit back. And I want you to picture and imagine a balloon. It may be a hot air balloon if it's a construction site dumpster that's the size of your box, or it may be a balloon from a kid's party if it's a ring box. Whatever size you need to work with your box size. Whatever color you want, maybe it's an action color or it's a tranquil, peaceful blue of tranquility. Picture and imagine a cord, string, or rope, whichever is appropriate, tied to the balloon, and you're going to wrap it around your box and tie it securely. What you may start to notice now is your box begins to rock just a little bit. As it lifts off, and as it's climbing higher and higher, you're feeling a bit more relaxed than you noticed feeling before, just a bit. Noticing that sounds, in addition to my voice, will only serve to take you deeper and deeper into relaxation and peace. Recognize and release the sound. Recognize and release. Recognize and release. Noticing now your box is drifting further and further away, and you're starting to feel lighter and freer. It's drifting higher and further, and you're feeling lighter and freer. In fact, you're feeling so light and free, you can't even remember the last time you felt this good. So it's drifting further and further now, almost completely out of sight. And you're feeling so light and so free. You can't remember even feeling stress. You just feel so good. Whatever's good for you in this moment is good. It's gone now, and you start to notice a ray of light shining down, hitting your feet, and whether you're laying down or standing up, anything is good. You start to notice the light moving into your foot, feeling your foot moving up into your legs, all the way up to your hips, continuing up your torso, your abdominal and stomach muscles, lower back, middle back, all the way up to the shoulder blades, moving in your fingertips, coming up to the shoulder as well, moving all the way up and out of the top of your head, shooting out of the top of your head the way steam shoots out of a tea kettle or boiling water on the stove. Radiating out of every single pore, it's emanating, allowing it to form a protective bubble while we continue today. Very good. Now let's go for a walk along your special place. And as we're walking, you start to notice two big doors, really big doors, almost cathedral size doors in front of you. You're going to open those doors and walk on into this gorgeous walkway, hallway. There's a skylight, so there's lots of light coming in. You're releasing all stress and all tension as you're walking along. There are beautiful paintings, perhaps tapestries. Maybe the floors are wood. Perhaps it's a very thick, supple carpet. And as you're walking along, you notice there are doors on either side of you. When you find the door that calls to you, that's your door, I want you to walk on in. And you can leave it cracked or you may close the door, doesn't matter. There's that beautiful chair. And you're going to get in the chair and just relax. In a moment, I'm going to count from 5 back to 1. And you will go back in time to a place that you've forgotten about, but that has to do with the tension that you're experiencing in your love life, in your dating, in your partnership, in simply existing. The added stress or tension. And we're going to go back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're there. Notice what's around you in this image. And it's almost as if the image is playing on a screen. You're not in there, you're watching. And so you can look up, look down, look around the image. Because it's a hologram, if you will. Or it's a TV screen, if you will. Or it's a video. Whatever works for you, breathing deeply. Just keep breathing and relaxing. And you're going back to a time and place in your life when you will notice something about a relationship that you may have gotten. Could be your parents even, something they said to you. It could be an old lover when you were very young. It could be heartbreak that happened in the first relationship. Whatever it was that has you not feeling good in your regular life, I want you to go back to one moment in time, one experience. Very good. And you'll take note of this experience. And now you're going to say to yourself, I survived and I thrived that experience. And say the name of the experience. In your mind's eye is fine. I thrived beyond that experience. And you will carry the knowledge of the experience without a feeling. So you will carry the knowledge, but will feel free and easy with the memory of the experience when I bring you back. Feeling your comfortable chair now around you or support, you're going to exit the room And this time we're going to close the door behind us because just like the box, anything in the room will spontaneously evaporate. We don't need that experience anymore. So you're back in the hallway, lots of beautiful beaming light. It's sun-drenched. And you're going to walk. You're going to walk back out through those doors and just keep walking back to your special place. Just walking, taking special notice of the sights and sounds and how wonderfully this space feels. In fact, it feels so wonderfully that it completely covers over and surrounds and closes off any lingering discomfort feelings or feelings of anxiety from your experience. And we're going to walk. Lo and behold, your chair is now here waiting for you. And we're going to get into the chair now. And we're going to begin to ascend. 1, climbing higher. 2, 3, climbing higher. 4, 5, climbing higher. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're back. Anytime in the next 60 seconds that you would like to open your eyes, feel free to do so and come on back. You'll start to notice sounds now. Your skin may tingle a little bit. You're feeling a little alert than you were before. It's all so fabulous. Welcome back. How was that, everyone?
It was wonderful for me.
Oh, good.
So it was good experience. It's very, very relaxing, very, very peaceful. And it's interesting because that's the similar way that people feel Reiki when they're done.
That's why we did it. I felt like that would be very similar, and it was an easy way to take people through the experience so they can kind of have an idea of what distance Reiki in particular is and how it can heal so many couples, and you don't have to be in the same town. And in this day and age, we have Zoom. And by the way, Zoom is HIPAA compliant. So you can be on Zoom and get all that you need. And we've had some other people join us. It's amazing. Gino has joined us. So we're saying hi to Gino. And if you have any last questions, feel free to go ahead and ask. And I have another question that I would like to ask. Kelly, what are the characteristics that people should look for in a high-quality Reiki practitioner, especially for dating and relationships?
That is the greatest question, because not all Reiki practitioners are alike. And one of the things that my teacher taught me is she said, you have to look at who your Reiki master teacher is or your practitioner. You have to have them equal in vibration to you or higher in vibration. Because if you have someone...
What does that mean, Kelly? I'm sorry to interrupt, but what does that mean?
Well, positive, uplifting, happy, joyful type energy, as opposed to lower energy of sadness or depression or anger or, the feelings that we really don't want to have. So it's basically those things. So when you're picking a Reiki master, you want to make sure that they are at a level equal or higher. The higher they are, the more that they can help pull you up. And if you see a Reiki master, what happens is we have the energy that we have access to, but we are like a conduit. We are not, it's not coming from me. I'm not all that special. I'm just normal girl. But it's a higher vibration, spiritual energy that comes through us. And it's almost like, if you think of plumbing, if you have really clogged pipes, not much is going to get through those pipes. So the higher vibrating Reiki master teacher, practitioner, is somebody that practices, mindfulness, good thought, positive language, positive things in their life, and they work on what they eat, what they think, what they say to keep their vibrations higher, because then you get a more powerful impact, because more positive energy, healing energy can come to you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Good question.
You asked it. I'm not going to take credit for that. I had Kelly send me some questions that she wanted me to ask on air, because I don't believe in gotcha interviews. In fact, when I was doing a lot of television interviewing, and I don't remember whether it was on ABC or on like a local station like PIX. And, I know, it was for iVillage. If anyone, I'm dating myself, remembers the old iVillage. It was a part of NBC, and it was a series they were doing on what men want.
Oh,
and it was
interesting.
record. And so I answered the question perfectly. I was so proud of myself. And then they decided to do it again, and the interviewer paraphrased my question, my response as his question, and then I had to come up with a whole new answer. And I promised myself, when I was on air and I was the host, and I've been on air in many different forms, AM, FM radio, you name it, FM in California, AM out here. I still appear on WGCH out of Greenwich in the Hamptons occasionally, but I promised I was never going to do a gotcha interview.
That's wonderful, because what happens is most of us are used to talking to one person, but not so many people. And
Yeah.
Do you know the number one fear of everyone? If you check the studies, the number one fear is speaking in public. So that you just comforted anybody that interviews with you.
That's wonderful.
I like this.
I want to say thank you to the Facebook crew. Thank you to the YouTube viewers. Thank you to those listening on Oneness Talk Radio. I'm so honored and blessed to be a part of that network. It's just so loving and giving, and listen to it all day. Anytime you need a happy moment, like I usually think of Pharrell's Happy, but anytime you need a happy moment, tune into Oneness Talk Radio and have your happy moment. And next week, we are going to have Erin Claire Jones on with Human Design. And she is a Gen girl. I believe she's Gen Y, maybe Gen Z. No, Gen Y. And she is very popular in spelling out human design for businesses. And you can find her at Erin Claire Jones on Instagram. If you can get a hold of her, she does try to answer everything, but she's got about 37,000 followers. So she doesn't get to everyone all the time, but she will try. Kelly, can you tell us how our audience, because I know how to find you, I'll tell you, how our audience can reach you?
I am at kellyraycoaching.com, and it's Kelly, Kellie, Ray, RAE, and then coaching.com. You can reach me there, or you can reach me on Instagram at Kelly Ray Coaching. I do a lot of healing work for people on there, and I also answer a lot of questions, so feel free to stop by. I'll be there.
That's wonderful. And you can reach me. You'll find out about all things PR at Satori, SATORIX, PR, as in publicity, public relations.com. That's SatoriXPR.com. If you're looking for me, Dr. Tranquility, personally, you may reach me at Dr. either spelled out or drtranquility.com. And so please feel free to send me questions. We're going to also have a dating coach on just after Erin Claire Jones. So next week's show is all about the dating. And we won't be doing it on the road. We will be stationary. But this has been it's just been a wonderful experience.
It is just the way life is. It's messy. Life is messy, and
Life
you
is
just have.
messy, dating is messy, relationships are messy.
They're messy. I giggled when you said put people in the box. I was in this Zen mode, and when you said putting pillows down to put people in, I couldn't help but laugh.
I do put people in, believe me. If I'm dealing with something, a person's going in the box so that I can get rid of the energy. They are not literally in the box. You don't have to feel good about it. And so we are going to call it a wrap today. Kelly Ray of Kelly Ray Coaching, I thank you so much. I thank Camille, who's back there with us. Excuse me, spitting myself. And I am Dr. Tranquility. Live life and be well.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay tuned for next week, and you will have the ride of your life. We're going to really get into some dating stuff next week. So hold on to your hat and get ready to rock. See you next week.
Well. Oh, no.